But as the lights illuminate above the drivers here at Marina Bay Street Circuit in Singapore, and when they go out, we're racing. So pause up Sebastian Vettel. He's got a lot of wheel spin off the line. It looks like Kimi Räikkönen's going to go into turn 1 in the lead. Go into turn 14, I think. And Rosberg tried to make a move, but he's made contact and he's spun. That's a disaster for Nico Rosberg, and that's going to be crucial for the championship. But Lewis Hamilton's not keeping up to go at the inside. Lewis Hamilton trying to pass Vettel again, and he's made contact and he's hit the wall. He's lost part of his front wing. Another shame for the Mercedes team. Both their drivers have made contact with Vettel just crossing the line. Räikkönen's at pit exit, and Vettel easily stays ahead of his teammate to keep the lead of the Singapore Grand Prix. And is he now heading towards his 5th victory of the season? He's pulling away slightly. Vettel had another poor line out of that last corner, and that's allowed Nico Rosberg to catch up. There's contact between two cars. Vettel's almost gone off into the barrier, but Vettel braking very late, and this time, just like he's failed to do in his teammates, he actually takes the position off Nico Rosberg. This fairly exciting Singapore Grand Prix on the final lap of the race. Sebastian trying to have another look. He's going to try and make a lunge going into the left-hander, and he's done it. It's been an exciting race here at the Marina Bay Street Circuit as Sebastian Vettel exits the final corner and wins in Singapore.
We're back at one of the oldest and one of the best racing tracks on the Formula One calendar. Welcome to Suzuka, where the practice session is just about to start. As we approach the end of the season, the teams will be keeping a close eye on the constructors' table. Every point the drivers can get is really important for the teams at this stage.
Yes, definitely. Every position you climb in the championship has a financial gain come the end of the season. So the difference between finishing 3rd or 4th is well worth fighting for right up until the last race.
One of the more intimidating corners on any Formula One track is the legendary 130R. Whilst unusual, the name actually comes from the original design of the corner, a 130-metre radius turn starting just past the track crossover. Over the years, due to several severe accidents, the corner's been redesigned to create a straighter entry and creating what is now a double apex left-handed corner.
Hey, what's up? It is Dan or DMan96 here, and welcome back to Sebastian's return to glory for the Japanese Grand Prix. And Sebastian feels very confident this weekend. It's a track there where he has had a lot of success at before. He's won here in 2009, 2010, 2012 and 2013. He's also taken 2 third places in 2011 and 2014. Last time out in Singapore, it was another 1-2 for Ferrari, allowing Sebastian to extend his championship lead over Rosberg to 26 points over a race victory ahead of Mercedes driver. And in the Constructors' Championship battle, it is now equal between Ferrari and Mercedes. So the Constructors' Championship fight is going to be very interesting going into today's race. So is the Drivers' Championship fight with Sebastian Vettel looking like he could actually take it before the end of the season. But before we move on to the race, let's go straight into the qualifying report. The Japanese Grand Prix at Suzuka is the venue for round 14 of the World Championship. Hosted many excellent races in the past, could 2015 live up to its expectations? It was an unusual occurrence of manner as both cars line up on the penultimate row of the grid. This was due to the expenses of Carlos Sainz, who experienced braking problems on his car and couldn't set a lap in time. It was a similar story at Williams as Valtteri Bottas couldn't get out on track due to severe electrical problems and therefore will start at the back of the grid in 20th. As for Felipe Massa, he gave something for the team to smile about with a solid 6th place. Fernando Alonso managed a decent 13th from McLaren whilst teammate Button will start 16th. An average session for Force India sees Hülkenberg 11th and Perez 14th. It was a return to the top 10 for Felipe Nasr in 9th and managing to beat his informed teammate for the first time since Silverstone. Another top 10 start for both Lotus drivers with Maldonado 7th and Grosjean 10th. Danny Kvyat equaled his best qualifying performance of the season with 5th and out-qualifying teammate Ricciardo in 7th. With the Constructors' Championship fight equal between Mercedes and Ferrari, it looks like the Italian team have the upper hand going into this weekend as Lewis Hamilton missed out on pole once again whilst teammate Rosberg lies in 4th. But with his 5th pole this year and completing Ferrari's so far 100% record of poles in the second half of the season is Sebastian Vettel. With Räikkönen in 3rd, who will leave Suzuka as Constructors' Championship leaders?
Welcome to one of this year's most challenging races, where the combination of high speed and complex corners makes this one of the drivers' favourite tracks. It's time for the Japanese Grand Prix. An exceptional lap time yesterday saw Sebastian Vettel take pole. Can anyone touch him this weekend, or will it be a one-sided contest?
He has clean air in front of him, so we'll be hoping he can create a gap over the first few laps. If the cars in second and third can keep close until the first round of pit stops, then they may be able to take advantage on the undercut.
Sebastian Vettel has consistently outqualified his teammate this season, underlining that he's the driver with the best one-lap pace in the team.
Seb always seems to save his best laps for the end of qualifying, and just when you think you've beaten him, he nails the perfect lap and finishes above you.
So before I start this race, I just want to say that I have got a cold, so I do apologise if I sound a bit shit during this race. As you can see on the screen right now, the suggested strategy is a 3 stop, and that is probably what Seb is going to do. There's a lot of drivers doing 2 stops, a lot doing 3 stops, so that could affect the outcome of this race. As the lights illuminate above the drivers here at the Suzuka circuit for the Japanese Grand Prix, it is lights out and away we go, and Sebastian gets up to a slow start. Lewis Hamilton moving into the leads. We go down towards turn 1. Vettel alongside Raikkonen and Rosberg. There could be a bit of contact, and there is. Vettel's gone wide, almost into a spin at turn 1. Forced off by Raikkonen and Rosberg. I don't know whose fault that was. We're going to have a look at the point of views of the 2 drivers right now that have paused off Sebastian down in 4th position. And are the chances of winning this race gone? But we've still got a long way in this race to go. Have a look at the point of view of Kimi Raikkonen. And I think it was just a bit of a squeeze there. Raikkonen went wide as well, so I really don't know whose fault that was. Have a look at the point of view of Nico Rosberg now. And he was trying to make a move on Raikkonen going turn 1, and I don't really know what happened. It's very hard to tell, like I said earlier. So leave it down in the comment section who you think was at fault for that incident. But now, skipping on back with Sebastian Vettel, he's actually dropped a little bit off the pace to Raikkonen and the 2 Mercedes drivers. But Massa having a look at the inside, going into the 130R, but Vettel defends around the outside, going slightly wide on the exit, but he keeps the position and stays in 4th, and now he's trying to hunt down the top 3 and try and get that podium position back, going a little bit wide at the exit of the casino triangle as he comes around the final corner to complete lap 1, and he is 1.5 seconds off Kimi Raikkonen, so not the best to start, so he's going to have to push in the next couple of laps if he wants any chance of winning this race. But there we see Nico Rosberg actually move on to lap 3, going for the lead on his teammate Lewis Hamilton. And Nico Rosberg now leads, and this could be important for the championship as Rosberg could gain points on Sebastian here. But we're now going board with Pastor Maldonado, and a little bit of contact he's had there with Danny Kvyat, and almost making contact with his teammate Romain Grosjean. So I don't really know what happened here. I think it was just another typical Maldonado incident, and yeah, you can just see making contact for rear of Kvyat's car and almost gone off into a spin like we were at turn 1. But now moving back with Sebastian onto lap 4, as you can see on the mini-map, Nico Rosberg's actually pulling away from Raikkonen and Hamilton, and Raikkonen, as you can see just ahead, is side by side with Lewis Hamilton as we're going into the chicane now, and Sebastian has caught up a huge amount of time on them, and Raikkonen's actually overtaken Hamilton into 2nd place. And can we make it a double podium for Ferrari if we pass Lewis Hamilton? We've got the DRS, but he'll have the DRS on Raikkonen just ahead. As you can see, our tyre wear is slightly going off now, so we're going to box at the end of this lap for another set of option tyres. We're broken 2-leg on turn 1. We hit the back of Lewis Hamilton, and well, I think we were lucky not to sustain any damage to the front wing. That was probably just a mistake there from Sebastian. Don't think he meant to brake back late as we're going to the 130. Hamilton just making me on Raikkonen for 2nd. Bell's going to try and go around both of them, going into the casino triangle. Is he going to pull him off round the outside? He's taking it. He's taking the position round the outside. That was probably overtake of the season and the most pointless overtake of this entire game. At the same time, as he really didn't need to make that move stick as he's pitting at the end of this lap. Anyway, as you see now, he's just going into his pit box now, and he fits another set of the option tyres for his 2nd stint. He goes down the pit straight now. I think he's going to rejoin probably at the points. You can see there's a big train going down the straight now. I think he's going to rejoin just behind that. And yes, he is going to be behind Marcus Ericsson in the Saubers. Another load of cars coming behind as well, I think led by Max Verstappen. And he just stays ahead of Max. Max trying to go around the outside. I think he went a little bit wide, but Sebastian stays in 12th position. And now he needs to try and make the charge here. He's doing 3 stops. I'm not sure about the cars ahead. As we move on to lap 7 now, and we have caught up to the back of Felipe now. So a few of the cars are pitted, and we make a move going down the inside of the Sauber driver, going very wide on the entrance of Spoon Curve. Another mistake there from Sebastian as he tries to move on past Maldonado for 7th place. I believe these drivers haven't pitted yet. So I think Sebastian is going to make an easy move stick here on the Venezuelan in the Lotus into the 130R, going onto the inside line, and he takes 7th position, going very wide on the exit. So Sebastian now in 7th position. A few of the cars ahead haven't pitted. I believe Kvyat hasn't pitted yet. I'm not really too sure. As we move on now to lap 9, and there's Kvyat actually coming out ahead of Sebastian Vettel. So has Danny Kvyat actually put himself in contention for a podium position? No, he hasn't, because Sebastian has overtaken him. and has now moved into third position behind Lewis Hamilton, who's also rejoined on a set of the option tyres on lap 9. I believe that was Hamilton's first pit stop. So I think Lewis Hamilton could be doing a 2-stop here, and that could play to the advantage of him. Sebastian's doing a 3-stop strategy. Kimi Raikkonen is also behind as well. It looks like he's doing a 2-stop because I think he's just come out the pits as well. As we move on to lap 11, and Lewis Hamilton stays out again as we come into the pits on lap 11. I think, yeah, it's safe to say that Lewis Hamilton is doing a 2-stop in this race as we coming on lap 11 now to take our second pit stop out of the 3 we'll be doing in this race. We're fitting another set of the option tyres on, and Kimi Raikkonen goes past. Felipe Massa will go past. Not sure how many stops Massa will be doing in this race. I think Kimi's going to be doing 2-stop as well, as it seems. He's just come out the pits for the same lap as Lewis Hamilton. As we see now, we rejoin in 6th position behind Daniel Ricciardo in the Red Bull, who's also on the option tyres, and we have the greatest straight line speed going down the back straight as we go into the 130R, and we easily take the position off Daniel Ricciardo in the Red Bull. Once again going wide at 130R. I think Sebastian just missed timing that corner a little bit. But we're just about to start lap 17 now, and Felipe Massa is behind someone. I don't really know who that is. But there you can see Kimi Raikkonen's in the pits for his... Is that his second stop? I really have no idea. And Lewis Hamilton's just come out of the pits on his second stop as well. He's on the prime tyre, so it's pretty obvious that Lewis Hamilton is doing 2-stop strategy. Sebastian Vettel going around the outside road. Lewis Hamilton, he's taken second position, just getting a slight undercut on Lewis Hamilton, pitting early, of course. But it's not really going to last anyway, because he has to pit at the end of that lap anyway for his prime stint. His final pit stop, Raikkonen goes past. And I think Sebastian just knows he's not going to win this race now, so he's just going to try and see if he can get a podium at least. But Massa going at the inside, and no, not making the move stick. Vettel holding on around the outside for 130R. But now we're actually going to go on a more important battle here, for the battle for the lead between Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg. And Nico Rosberg's yet to make his final stop. As you can see, he's still on the option tyres. He's stuck behind. That's one of the Taurists. I think that's Carlos Sainz Jr. And Lewis Hamilton, just saw, isn't very far behind him now as we move on to the later part of the track. There you can see Rosberg's past Sainz. Lewis Hamilton has just come out for hairpins, so Lewis Hamilton's definitely caught up to Rosberg. Going into the pit lane is Nico Rosberg now. And I think Lewis Hamilton's going to take the lead of the race. And I think Lewis Hamilton might even win it here. And that's going to help Sebastian in the championship, as it means that Rosberg won't gain as much points on Seb in the World Championship. But there you see Lewis Hamilton going down the pit straight, taking the lead of the Grand Prix. Nico Rosberg rejoins in second position, or is he? Because Raikkonen's going down the pit straight, so he's caught up to Rosberg. And I think the 2-stop has paid off for Lewis Hamilton. It's slightly paid off for Kimi Raikkonen, but the 3-stop's definitely not paid off for Sebastian Vettel. He's down in 4th position, and with only 3 laps to go, he's 6 seconds behind Kimi Raikkonen. I think a podium is out of the question for Seb here. It's been a disappointing race for Sebastian. He knows that the strategy didn't go in his favour as he just lapped Sergio Perez. He's hoping to try and gain more points on Rosberg in the next round in Russia, as he is certainly going to gain points on Sebastian here, finishing in second. But for his teammate Lewis Hamilton, it's going to be win number 3 of 2015, and a quite surprising one in my opinion. I thought Nico Rosberg was going to win this race, but it seems that Lewis Hamilton made the better strategy decision, doing a 2-stop instead of a 3-stop to take the win here in Japan. As here is Sebastian Vettel finishing in 4th position. He's disappointed with that, I think. He knows he could have done better, but the strategy just didn't work out for him. I think he feels that he should have done a 2-stop instead of a 3-stop, but the option tyres went off so early on in the Grand Prix. He's hoping he can bounce back in Russia and try and collect the win. Gain more points on Nico Rosberg. As you can see from the final race results, Lewis Hamilton takes the win from teammate Nico Rosberg in second. Kimi Raikkonen completing his good run of form in 3rd position. I believe that's his 4th consecutive podium now. Sebastian Vettel finishing in 4th. And Nico Rosberg will gain a few points on Sebastian in the Drivers' Championship. There you can see Massa beating the 2 Red Bulls. And also Jenson Button getting a point for McLaren Honda behind Max Verstappen. Marcus Ericsson, the only DNF in this race. Don't really know what happened to him. But now we move on to the Drivers' Championship standings, and Sebastian still leads, but Rosberg has gained 6 points on him in the championship, now closing the gap to 20 points. Lewis Hamilton still in 3rd position, with Kimi Raikkonen in 4th, and Valtteri Bottas in 5th for Williams, dropping behind Raikkonen now, whose good run of form has moved up to 4th in the championship. And moving on to the Constructors' Championship, Mercedes actually now moved back into the lead, 16 points ahead of Ferrari thanks to their 1-2 finish. It's certainly going to be very interesting as we move on to the Russian Grand Prix next time out. But now, it's time to move on to the podium. So Lewis Hamilton returns to the top step of the podium here at Suzuka, his first victory since Austria and the first Mercedes 1-2 since Hungary, with Kimi Räikkönen continuing his good run of form with his 4th consecutive podium in 3rd. But I really hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. If you have, please leave a like, comment down below and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Until next time guys, it's been DMAD96. I'll see you guys next time for the Russian Grand Prix.